The bold and, let's be honest, seemingly delusional line that Angel Reese dropped sent social media into a frenzy. She probably hoped the backlash would come quickly, but none hit harder than Patrick Bet-David, who not only clapped back but also dismantled her argument with surgical precision and a mountain of financial facts. Angel Reese also said that WNBA players could go on strike over salary and benefits, so you should probably look at what the career earnings are of going into that field. I've been in meetings and they say, yeah, I need to get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like we sit out, that's a possibility for real. Trust me, once you hear the whole truth behind this mess, you won't look at Angel's tantrum the same way again. The ones coming this year will still be in the rookie contract again, and the ones that the year after they're gonna make more than us. Yes, we are discussing a player who is still getting used to finishing layups without clanking the bottom of the backboard, and already she is threatening to shut down the league. Patrick's reaction was somewhere between incredulous and amused, and really, can you blame him? I love watching her highlight her missed shots. She must be the worst shooter you have ever encountered, but Rob just gave this feedback, so go for it. Season 2. I am eager to work with you further, but the biggest piece of advice I have for you is to shoot your layups. What do you mean? She is our double-double queen. Buy what they say. If it ain't fixed, don't fix it. Buy Teaching Angel. Reese's attempt to make a layup is like trying to teach an old dog a new trick. It won't work. Hey, welcome to McDonald's. Let's take a closer look at what Angel actually said. She has been vocal about her low WNBA salary, revealing on Instagram Live that her $74,000 annual salary doesn't cover rent. She said, I just hope you know that the WNBA doesn't pay my bills at all. I don't even think they pay one of my bills. Reese's financial difficulties are a result of her WNBA salary not matching her passing earnings because our nil valuation at LSU was $1.8 million, supported by agreements with McDonald's, Coach Reese, Bach, and PlayStation, while the 4-year rookie contract was $324,000, with $74,000 due the following season. I just hope you understand that the WNBA doesn't pay any of my bills. I don't even think that pays one of them. Let me quickly do the math. He might cover that. I don't even know my salary. She disclosed that she's making only about $74,000 in her rookie season in the WNBA, and she claims that doesn't even cover rent in Chicago. Sure, to people like you and me, $74,000 sounds like a pretty sweet deal, but Angel is acting as though she's living in a hovel. $8 million at LSU as a result of sponsorship agreements with McDonald's, Reebok, and PlayStation since the NBA's $200 million revenue from the previous season. Only allotted 99. She is particularly supported by a dozen additional brands who seem to believe that retweeting shade counts as a basketball ability rather than basketball. 3% of salaries as opposed to 50% of the 5 for the NBA. Adam thought, oh no, my R is more than that. It doesn't. I'm living beyond my means. In 2012, the Angels signed a 4-year rookie contract worth roughly $324,000 or $81,000 annually, which is less than 5% of her earnings as a college influencer. It's no wonder that she famously said, "Hatting pays the bills," because let's face it, the WNBA should charge her for backboard repairs, because at the rate she's throwing bricks, Instagram stories are more profitable than her box scores. Caitlin Clark is creating the future of women's basketball, while Angel is building a brand off of bad takes and top-tier bricklaying masonry. This is the best layup you'll ever see of Angel Reese, and I'm loving it. Look at that crisscross zigzagging through the lane. Get up, burn. I've heard that she's ambidextrous, which makes sense because she's equally adept at both left-handed layups. Free Puffs Patrick was completely taken aback, not because Angel is having financial difficulties. Let's face it, with all her endorsements, she probably isn't, but rather because of the audacity of demanding more money from a league that waits for it to make money. He pointed out the obvious, which is that in the real world, when a business is losing money year after year, it doesn't give out raises, it gives out pink slips. That's when Adam Snike jumped in with the facts and things really got interesting. The WNBA and Angel Reese do it. I fully support your right to strike. Other major sports have done it. Here is a quick list of the biggest sports strikes in history. The MLB strike in 1994, which was the first time the World Series was canceled. the NBA strike in 1998, which was the first time the All-Star game was canceled. The NFL has gone on strike several times, in 1982, 1987 and 2011. Adam reminded us that yes, the NFL, MLB, NBA and NHL have all experienced player strikes. But the key difference is that those leagues were making billions of dollars when their players walked out. For example, Angel Reese is acting as though the WNBA is Apple, but in reality it's more like your cousin's food truck that barely makes a profit while still giving away free samples. The NFL, NBA and NHL are the highest earning sports in America. They make $117 billion, $11 billion, $11 billion and $7 billion respectively. Patrick didn't mince words when he said that the WNBA loses about $50 million annually, which is a ticking time bomb. The NFL makes $17 billion, the NBA and MLB each make $1 billion, and the WNBA barely makes $150 million and still can't turn a profit. It's like trying to run a luxury spa with 2 patrons and a lemonade stand. This isn't even a new problem. The WNBA has been losing money every year since its founding in 1997. With all the hype surrounding Caitlin Clark, you would think that the league would finally turn a profit after 25 years of broken spreadsheets and red ink, but even now, with record attendance at full arenas, the losses are climbing. The league should have folded long ago, but it keeps stumbling along because of its much richer big brother, the NBA. Here's a question for you, Vinny. Are you a sports fan? How many teams are there in the WNBA? I don't know 9, no 13, how many games? The WNBA only has 12 teams and plays 40 games a season. Expansion will begin in 2025 with the new Golden State Valkyries, but that's still a far cry from the NBA's 30 teams and 82-game schedule. Less invent, less ticket revenue, less TV money. It's simple math unless you're Angel Reese or Dee Carrington, apparently the MVP, who received all the votes. Dylan Mullaney, yes, AIA Wilson, oh, you just failed the test, buddy. I'm sorry, WNBA is coming for you. WNBA players only receive 99%. Let's face it, we can sugarcoat it all we want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not in the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you have nothing. And nobody is saying that WNBA players don't deserve respect or anything. 3% seems unfair until you realize that even with that small cut, the league still loses money because there simply isn't enough revenue to go around. And let's not even begin to discuss the attendance gap between Caitlin Clark's games and, well, everyone else's, including Angel's. Spoiler alert, the seats are much more empty where she plays. When someone like Reese, who has only been in the league for 5 minutes, demands more money from a league that is struggling financially, that is not brave, it is delusional. At the same time, Caitlin Clark is simply doing what she does, dropping dimes, breaking records, and creating a legacy without having to throw tantrums or threaten walkouts. She lets her game do the talking while Angel Reese is still figuring out how to make a layup without becoming a meme. Perhaps the next time Angel talks about sitting out, someone should remind her that people are already not attending her games. I mean, I'm not big on I don't think it's fair to compare the WNBA to the NBA because, well, I think the WNBA is in a pretty amazing place right now, and I think when people ask me where I think it'll be in 5 years, I find it difficult to respond because people didn't even think we'd be here now. I think the possibilities are endless. For example, when you see our TV numbers when we're on national television, we're averaging over 1 million viewers or whatever it is. All-Star Game, I believe it was over 4 million viewers. As the league continues to grow and improve, I believe that the talent level in college is also going to get much better. We're adding 2 new teams next year and then probably another team the year after that. Some more games, more games, which I think will be good, and it would lengthen the season a little bit more to make matters more juicier. There's growing tension between the WNBA and NBA stars. Remember the feud between Lisa Leslie and Draymond Green? Draymond dared to suggest that WNBA players should improve their game before requesting larger checks, which sparked outrage, but perhaps he had a point. There's a viral video of Draymond Green was essentially lecturing one of the best players in NBA and WNBA history. Lisa Leslie, on the other hand, recently stirred things up by suggesting that NBA players could step in and increase WNBA salaries by perhaps skipping a night at the casino. I think the pay gap would be something that we could just take a donation around the NBA. Maybe one night y'all don't go to the casino. Now that might have sounded like a joke to her, but Draymond Green didn't like it. He clapped back with all his might, saying that no one in the nation supports the WNBA more than NBA players, and to imply otherwise is just. As the back and forth drama unfolds, an unexpected figure emerges as the league's saving grace, Kay Clark. The WNBA has seen a huge surge in attention with two. His passionate rebuttal demonstrated just how tense this relationship between the two leads has become. I have something on this though, because it pisses me off, because I don't think anyone in America supports the WNBA more than NBA players 100%. However, we probably support the NBA more than they do. 3 million spectators crammed into arenas, a 48% increase over the previous season, and Caitlin is the one fueling this fan fever. Strangely though, some veteran players are acting as though she is the villain instead of supporting the woman on her own and bringing the league into the spotlight. Patrick Bet-David didn't hold back when he warned WNBA players that they should light candles for Clark's health, because without her, their league might not even exist. This should be the time when the entire WNBA comes together to celebrate what's working, but instead you have resentful veterans who are jealous of the attention Clark is receiving while they're still out here demanding higher salaries from a league that can hardly afford a parking ticket. Angel may want to wait until she can. Patrick brought the heat with a humorous but sobering reality check. The WNBA lost $40 million last year, and the year before that, you guessed it, another $40 million. They may not like it, but Caitlin Clark is the face of the league, and while there may be professional jealousies among players, they may be able to help things go and get merch people in seats and a better TV contract for the 26th season next year. Growing their losses progress. Patrick never wanted to back down from a mic drop moment. Asked ChatGPT a savage question: do WNBA players get paid even if they sit out? The answer was of course yes. And why? Because the NBA keeps helping them out like a parent who can't stop funding their kids. GarageBand. Watch this here to address the financial situation. The WNBA lets them rob. If you go up and ask the other question as well, ask whether it's true that the WNBA makes money when they don't play. What does that mean? Yes, in a sense, the WNBA has historically lost money and receives financial support from the NBA. Means that the WNBA games are not played. The league can actually save money by avoiding operating costs. Did you guys understand what happened? The WNBA makes money when they go on strike, so if the players do as Angel Reese threatened, the NBA might not be angry. In fact, they might throw a party with less payroll to cover less PR. Drama to manage and a break from the annual financial hemorrhage. It sounds like a win-win situation. The NBA has been carrying the WNBA like a toddler in a backpack for more than 20 years, and just when that backpack starts to feel particularly heavy, Caitlin Clark arrives with the energy of 1,000 Red Bulls and the skill set of here's where it gets even messier. NBA players already contribute financially to the WNBA, and now that Caitlin Clark is attracting never-before-seen levels of attention, everything should be going smoothly. However, the number that surfaced, which is their argument, which you have to sort of defend, showed that the WNBA's attendance reached a record-breaking high in 20 years with a total of 3 million spectators attending games. May make the crowded arenas appear fantastic on Instagram, but beneath all of that glamour, the league is still in financial ruin after 2.5 decades of losses beginning in 1997. They're begging for the money and acting as though it's one breakaway dunk from becoming mainstream. If the NBA's revenue contract is fulfilled, they give players a salary of at least 50%. 3. There is a case to be made for it to go forward, but you are correct that if Caitlin Clark is hurt, it's over. Tom from Valuetainment presented the harsh reality that nobody wanted to publicly acknowledge. The NBA treats the WNBA like a write-off. It's not a business, rather, it's a public relations ploy whereby the league says, look, we support women's sports while continuing to foot the bill that pie. Angel Reese keeps requesting a larger piece of the pie, but there isn't any. There is only crumbs, and the NBA, they're already spreading those thin, but there's a bright spot. The increase in attendance from 2024 to 2023 was 48% in a single year, which is huge for them. They claim that this is the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, and when it comes to merchandise, they're up 61% from 23 to 24. When it comes to being broadcast on ESP, they average 1.2 million viewers each game, a 170% rise in TV ratings, a 170% increase in ESPN viewership, and a 61% increase in merchandise sales. This isn't just growth, it's an explosion. And there's one reason Caitlin Clark is so popular when she walks on the hardwood. It's like paying to keep the lights on in an empty house, and no one will like what I say, but there are hard-working women. Tom laid it out in the simplest way possible: make the league profitable and then talk money. That's how MLB players did it. And here's the kicker: if this strike that Angels are talking about actually happens, owners might breathe a sigh of relief because less money will be going out and less drama will be coming in. The women who represent the states in the WNBA are the team's star player, their face, and they're out there playing. But guess what? Until the team turns a profit. By the way, everything you mentioned last year has been extremely successful, and it brings them closer to doing so, because once they're profitable, they can go on strike and increase their revenue from 9% to 12% to 15% to 20%. However, if there is no revenue, and let's not forget that Clark is the reason casual fans are even discussing the WNBA. The seats are full, the camera are rolling, and for once, Angel Reese may feel she is the main character, but this is professional basketball, not TikTok, and adults are watching. So here's the deal: Angel Reese can keep complaining that she should get paid more, but until she can prove it with numbers on off the court, it's just noise. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is breaking records, improving the game, and giving the WNBA a chance at a real future. If you want bigger paychecks, start by respecting the reason you're even getting paid at all. Spoiler alert: it's not the rebounding machine with the $1 million the humble laser-focused phenom in Indiana Fever Red. The players do what baseball players and everyone else do once the league becomes profitable. The NBA's financial situation isn't just difficult, it's dependent for years. The NBA has contributed about $10 to $12 million a year to keep the league from going out of business, which isn't charity, it's life support. Now imagine Angel Reese and company walking out in protest over salaries. If you think that scares the NBA, they would probably pop champagne knowing they just saved millions in subsidies. However, this is where the story could change. For a future in which the WNBA can stand alone thanks to smart brand deals, increased media attention, and no more bailouts. The key is Caitlin Clark, who is the one generating fan interest and ticket sales like never before. The way forward is clear. Embrace what is working. Embrace the Stars fans who are lining up to see and create a league that doesn't need saving, because if the WNBA doesn't change quickly, it might not get another chance, and it's obvious that Angel Reese isn't helping.
Do you agree?
Let us know in the comments section and turn on all notifications so you don't miss